Hey, good afternoon, guys. How are you? I want to tell you a little something that went on last week. Uh, we did the Boeing C-97, I believe it was, the big cargo plane, and we never were able to tell you the story behind it. And I feel bad about it because it came upon us while in our travel. Like I tell everybody when we're doing our travel, you never know what you're going to run into. And I just want to cut through the chase. And the guy that bought that plane, he bought it for a coffee shop. That was his dream, to turn it into a coffee shop and put it in front of his lodge. And thought it would bring in some business. And basically it never turned out that way. It sat there and never got restored. So instead it got to be basically a monument so people can go in and look at it. But what was really cool about it more than anything is that, I don't know how many of you guys know, but that particular plane was used in a commercial. The commercial back in the day, back in, I believe it was like 1971, was a commercial that Farrah Fawcett Majors did, and it was on the Cougar car. What they did is they put the ramp down on the back of that plane, laid it down, and the car drove out. And then Farrah Fawcett was doing the narration, the talking, and all that stuff. You know, you can go on YouTube and you can find that video. It'll show you the whole thing on that plane, and it shows that commercial. That's how I found out. I was checking out the plane just to see what that plane was all about, and this stuff all popped up. I says, oh, I can't believe this. I says, wow, got a lot of history on that thing. I said, I wish I would have known that when I was there, because I would have said it and told everybody. So I'm telling you right now what I missed out, and I'm sorry guys for that. I really am. I wish I would have done my homework before I seen that. But then again, like I said, how do you know what you're going to run into? You got to take advantage of stuff when you see it. You know, you're not going to drive, almost 100 miles back home and then go check it out on the internet. I suppose you could check it out on your cell phone, but who thinks of that stuff? You see it, you stop, you videotape it, you do the best you can. So, but anyways, I guess I blew that one. But anyways, I got that out of the way right now, okay? I'm just telling you that part. The worst part of the whole trip was after we got done with that, then we went to the Governor Dodge State Park, which that's what we were planning on doing in the first place. There's a small waterfalls that was there that we were going to go see, which we had no problem getting there. We had the state sticker already. Had no problem getting there. Found it easily. But here's the problem that we ran into. I pulls the camera and the gimbal out like I normally do, and it puts it on the back of my car, and I was going to do the intro. And when I did that, I put the camera, put the legs out, put it on the back of the car, and then I was going to just put my mic on like I normally do. I clip it on my pocket, and I must have accidentally pushed the gimbal by accident to the side, and it flipped right off the car, right onto the asphalt. And I said, oh no, what am I going to do? It's done. It's ruined. There's pieces everywhere. So I picks it up and I carefully puts it in the car, and I says, we're done for. We're not shooting this video today. We might as well go home. So my son says, well, chill out, take it easy. And I did. And then I chilled out for about 10 minutes, and then I went in and I took the camera back out of the car, and I took everything apart and examined everything, and the camera was fine. Nothing wrong with the camera. I thought I busted the screen, because the screen was wide open, and when it falls you think that would have twisted and broke the hinge on it and everything else. That was fine. It must have hit just right and never did anything to that. Everything on the camera was beautiful. Nothing happened to it. Okay, so got that out of the way. Now the part I'm worried about the most, the gimbal. The gimbal is a very expensive piece of work. It's a Ronin S. It's not that old. I haven't even had it a year. And I says, if that got ruined, which it probably did, because the motors are very sensitive. You know, that hit pretty hard. And I looked at it and I examined it. There's not even a chip out of the paint anywhere except on the bottom of the leg. One little chip. I couldn't believe it. I picked it up, I turned it on, and all the motors worked fine. Not a thing wrong with the gimbal. The only thing that was wrong was everything got loose on it. So I had to rebalance it. Well, I couldn't rebalance it because I'll tell you what happened. This little guy here, this is your receiver for the mics. Alright? Now on the back of here is the hot shoe. That's the part that broke. Without that, you can't screw it down to the camera, because this has to be screwed out of the camera nice and firm so that you can balance the gimbal. Now, how are you going to balance the gimbal if you duct tape it? It's never going to be perfect. It's got to be on there solid so that you can balance the gimbal, because when you balance the gimbal, that's what makes the motors work perfectly, so that when you walk with the camera, everything is nice and smooth. Otherwise, if it's out of balance, the motors are not in sync, and what's going to happen is the camera's going to go nuts. It's going to go all over the place when it's trying to adjust for everything. So I eliminated this altogether, and I used the internal mic built into the camera, and that worked fine. We got through, but we had to hide from the wind. We had to be real careful, because usually the camera internal mic picks up wind sound very easily. So we got through it. And then when I got home, I had to crank up to all the volume levels as high as I could get them, because the internal mic doesn't give you enough volume so that when you upload to YouTube, you have enough power so that you guys can hear it. You know, so it came out okay. I was really amazed. It worked out really nice. So yeah, check out that video if you didn't see it. It's called Inside Boeing C-97. It's actually the last video I made. I'm looking over here just to get the right title of it. It's on my other computer. So that's the name of that story. And you know, as long as I'm showing you this, that's the receiver. You guys never get a chance to see a lot of the stuff that I got because it's on the camera. And then this is what I carry on the side of my belt, you know. And then this is the lavalier mic right there, that piece there. Yeah, I hope you can see that. You know, I got a little wire tie on that ball, because the way they make that little ball that goes on there, styrofoam, for wind, you can't, it falls off. So I had to use a little wire tie to hold it on. You know, otherwise it just falls off. So that works. You know, I put a little wire tie on it just to keep it on. And then the little alligator clip on the other one, the little wire just came apart. So I got to figure out how to put some liquid solder on that so that I can use that one. So that's the name of that story. Alright, so we're all done now talking about our catastrophe, and then filling you in on the C-97, you know, the Boeing C-97, so you guys know that, you know, that there was a commercial made on that back in the 70s. So, alright, what we're going to do today is we're going to take you to the Beloit Riverfront, and we're going to tour that. And I just want to tell you that, you know, back in about 17 years ago, that's where I met my wife. And she took me down there, and the place was brand new. It wasn't that old. They just got done doing that. And the whole place was like all decked out nice with playground equipment, and they had the asphalt sidewalk beautifully done. They had bridges over the little backwashes that come off of the Rock River, that come in from the Rock River, and they come in, and then they dug it out, I imagine, and then it's a place where there's a lot of lily pads, and then there's ducks that go in there, and then they got flower arrangements all over. You'll see it. I mean, it's coming up. So I'm going to just take you around the whole river, and being that we're doing this with the road mic, we found out that the road mic just didn't cut the mustard. We got a terrible sound on it. So I'm going to have to narrate this whole thing and put a voiceover on the whole thing. So it should turn out fine. You just won't hear water trickling or any background noise or nothing. It'll just be my voice and talking as we travel. So otherwise you're going to hear nothing but wind. I don't recommend the road mic at all for out of the box, because the right stuff to use for, if you're going to do audio at all, is use the catgut. The catgut hair that takes and totally destroys wind sound. It's amazing when you put that on. It cuts the wind like 80%. And the little styrofoam black stuff, like for instance, like the little ball that I got on that little mic, like for instance, that little ball that's on there. You see how that's made? It's just a styrofoam black round ball that goes on the lavalier. All right, that same styrofoam ball is on the big boom mic that goes on the camera. It's no good. It's no good, folks, because it modifies the wind sound. There's no way of getting rid of the wind. The wind is terrible, and it wasn't even that windy today. I mean, I can't even hear my voice. That's how bad it is. So there's no way that I'll ever use a shotgun mic ever again, except for this one. Worked really well, but it doesn't have any volume. There's no volume on that. I have to push it through the editor, and I have to crank the volume wide open. Well, there's only so much room for DVDs. You can only push the DVDs so high, and then you run out of DVDs. You can put 20 DVDs in there and you're done. You put another 20 in, it don't make no difference. You don't see any increase. None. You can push 100 in there, you won't see any increase. You can only get so much out of it. So the right way to go is, you can probably do, if you want to do good sound, you can buy a Zoom if you want, which is a handheld device, or if you got a way of mounting it on your gimbal. It's pretty big. It probably weighs 2 pounds. So you got to figure out how to strap it on your gimbal. And what that does, it lays down an audio track, and it does a really good job. But it's very sensitive. I don't know how well it works in wind. It might pick up wind a lot. I don't know. I never tried one. I called B&H. They don't recommend it. They said the best mic system for YouTubers is, of course, your typical lavalier that you just put on right here. You put it right on the side of you. But the problem with those is that no matter what you buy, certain circumstances, you're going to have cutouts. So if you're doing an interview with somebody and it's important, you're going to end up where you are going to lose some words, maybe, in certain important parts. And you got to be willing to take that risk. You may not have a problem at all on a video shoot. But in this case, by going with the shotgun mic like I did today, there's just no way I can save this footage. You can't hear my voice at all. I mean, you can hear it a little bit, but it's just ridiculous. The wind is just terrible. So, all right, I'm going to do a voiceover on it. I got it in the editor right now, the actual footage. And what I'm shooting right now on the camera is a clip of the intro. And then I'll do an outro, because the outro is going to be nothing but wind also. All right, so let's go for the outro. All right. Okay, guys, here we go. We're at the Rock River, looking across. This is the Beloit High School, and my wife's son went to this school, and I remember back when I first met her that he was going there, and my stepdaughter also, I believe she went there. It's been a long time ago. I don't remember 100% on how long that lasted. I know that it was only about 30 days I lived in Beloit, and then I moved to Delavan, and that's when I brought the whole family to Delavan, and then we took them into the Delavan school system. So that's that. Just thought I'd give you a peek at that school. I don't know the size of Beloit. I know that's probably two and a half times the size of Delavan. Right now we're taking a walk starting from one end to the other. So we're heading out right now, heading towards the power plant, and we're going to make a little pit stop here to the left as we go. As I remember, they were playing music at the time on this, and as the camera swings around, we'll see it swinging around, it'll pan around, and I was trying to explain what was going on. There's boats that they got there, small paddle boats that you can rent, and then you can go out and have a good time on the pond there and paddle around on the boat on a hot day. I'm not sure what they get for them, for the rental, but it's something to do on a hot day. There's no swimming allowed. Oh, there they go. I pan across, and that's where I talk about the music that's playing. Now, when there's music playing like that, what happens usually is that you have to mute the music. And when you mute the music and you're doing a narration like we're doing right now, while you're on the fly and you're doing it while you're walking, the music's in the way, and then YouTube flags you and tells you that you got a copyright strike. So that's a lot of problem. So it's good in a way that I have to do the voiceover in this particular spot anyway, because this part here I had some problems with the music playing, and it was plenty loud enough that I would have picked it up. So we're going to journey on down, and we'll see what's coming up here. So you can see ahead of us now, we're getting into the where you can either go to the park or you can make a left-hand turn. We're going to make a left-hand turn as we get up here, and we're going to take a walk down by the boats, show you what that's all about. So you see it's pretty windy. All those weeds and stuff and those wildflowers are blowing pretty good. So the wind really raised a lot of havoc on the mic, so you couldn't hear my voice hardly at all. So it was just impossible. You can see the trees are moving pretty good, and it all seems like that happens to be the problem. That's why the lavaliers are so good. They work really nice. It can be blowing wind, and you never have any problem with that. I've been in some pretty good winds already with those, and it never seems to be a problem. Here we're walking up to the area where you can go up to Pavilion. Hope I'm saying that right, Pavilion. And up on top is where you can have your doings, like if you got married or something and you want to have a dance, you want to rent that, I guess, up there, you can do that. And I shot a lot of images up there, and of weddings that I did, and also graduation pictures, I was asked to go there quite a few times to do pictures. So going across the bridge here, and we'll make a left-hand turn. And take a look at the paddle boats or whatever they are there. Like I said, I don't know what they get, you know. We are open, it says, paddle boats. I remember years ago I came down here and I filmed this once before, but it didn't turn out so good. That's when I was pretty lousy at doing video. I had a lot of camera shake and stuff, no stabilization whatsoever. Let's see, that was a little problem on that there, but here's the bottom side of the pavilion. We're heading out. Gonna go around on the top. Ain't them beautiful bridges? They can't be too cheap to put them up, I'll bet. Now there's those backwashes I was talking about that come off the Rock River. There's a lot of ducks in there and stuff that come in there. A lot of lily pads. I'm getting a little carried away on the gimbal, you know. I should take a little more time. Here now it's going a little smoother. Sometimes I get a little carried away. I need to take more time on it. And this is where I want to turn around and show you the pavilion from the front side. That's a beautiful place, like for taking photos of weddings and stuff. And you know, like the bride and groom, like they're looking down, you know, and you get the water fountains in the background, you know, and makes a beautiful setting. So I did quite a few of those right there, and the same with graduation pictures. So yeah, I've done quite a few in that park. I remember doing that. And then down on the bottom of the sidewalk, you're gonna see a lot of names. You know, it's kind of like Delavan. You know, you buy a block for so much money, like $100 or something like that. The bigger ones are more, I suppose. And then you get your name put in. I don't know really too much about what they do here, but I know Delavan's, you put your name in. Here they got in memory of, if I suppose if you died or something, you put your in memory of. But give you a little idea. Just thought I'd show you guys that. And we're going to go across and then go over to the backwash. And I think, if I remember right, we found a couple ducks down here. It's really an amazing park. I really like this park. I mean, there's a duck there now. I want to see if I can get in on this guy. He's going to go into the water there. See how close I can get to him. Yep, there we go. Getting closer, getting closer, getting closer. I'm almost right on top of them. It don't even bother them. Those ducks are so used to people. Yeah, one flew right in. I could have almost got him in flight. They're mallards. A lot of lily pads. See, those lily pads never were in there back in the days when I was going down there. That really got thick in there. I don't remember the lily pads being there that thick. And here's flower beds. You know, there's not a lot in bloom right now because it is August. Then you go over and see Leo the lion for a drinking fountain. Remember Rod Smith, Lloyd Moon, Lions Club. Some more hostas. Beautiful hostas. Really thick in there. It looks beautiful. You can see there's not a lot of blooming going on, but we got some daisies down at the other end that we're going to take a look at. You see a lot of work goes in this park. A lot of upkeep too. They do a good job on keeping it up. Years just fly by. You know, like I said, about 17 years, somewhere around there, when I remember it being brand new. And it still looks as good today as it did back then. So I'm real proud of what it looks, how it looks. There's another bridge we're going to walk over, and we're going to go over to the playground. And this brings back some good memories. I remember this real well. Back about 17 years ago. I remember that piece right there. I remember my wife acting goofy on it and posing. I took her picture on that. That's when times were good. We were both goofy back then. Had a really good time. Remember her having a black leather coat. And I can't find that at all to this day. Don't know whatever happened to that black leather coat. And I remember that particular spot right there at the top. I remember standing up there, and she took my picture. Somewhere in my dresser drawer, buried somewhere. It's around, but I can't seem to find it. Someday I'll come across it, I guess. There's these ABC building, that white and red building. I'll talk about that later if I see it again. That's a beautiful piece of work right there. They did a great job making that. Take a walk through that. Be a little creative. It's what's nice about a gimbal. There's a sand pit where the kids can play. It's all sand. Big old sandbox. Never had a sandbox that big when I was a kid. Had a tractor tire. That's all I had. Here we're going straight for the river. This is where you can dock your boat stuff. I'm going to show a couple of those along the way. I feel I'm cheating you guys because I gotta put a voiceover, but what are you gonna do? I'm kind of stuck for this week. There's the Beloit hospital, not the hospital, the Beloit high school again, and the beach, or not the beach, but the actual bank, the river there. Isn't that a beautiful sight? It's a peaceful place to be. Some might not think so. A lot of people got a bad opinion about Beloit. But I lived in Beloit for 30 days, and it was not a problem whatsoever. A lot of people are scared of Beloit. There's nothing goes on too much in Beloit. There's some bad areas, but it's not like people think it is. Years ago, when I was a young kid, about in my 20s, I used to work in Beloit, and it was not bad at all then either. My brother had a tire shop there. There's another dock there where you can park your boat and get out and stretch for a while if you want. Now, those bridges there, the bridge you see in front there, that bridge there, it was either that bridge or a bridge behind us. I think I panned back. I'm not sure what time I'd do it, but maybe I can catch it later. But back in the younger days, my brother and his wife and myself and my first wife, we took the boat out and we sat out there, and there's hundreds of boats, and they shot the fireworks off of the, I believe it's called the Memorial Bridge. And that was just beautiful. They had just a beautiful fireworks display. But I can't swear to it if it was that bridge you're looking at ahead of us or if it's the one behind us. So I'm going to turn around now and I'm going to show you, I think, no, this is the docks again. Showing that you can pull your boat in there. Well, there's a bridge that goes, there's another one similar to that one behind. And I don't think it was this bridge here that they did the fireworks off. I think it was the other bridge. But it's so hard to remember. It's been so long ago. Now, this is the area here now where they have the festival. You can see there's a lot of land there that you can put vendors and stuff. So they park all the vendors in there, and they'd sell products all the way to the corner of that building. And then behind that building, there's a few vendors too. But this is the bulk of it right here. And it'd be wall vendors, and then they have rows that you can walk up and down, do your shopping, buy stuff. I remember my stepson, he bought a sword. He had knives and swords there, and he bought a sword, and he was so proud of that. It was a collector item. I can't remember if I bought it for him. I think I bought it for him. He might have bought it himself. I can't remember that either. Been so long ago. Don't really matter because it got stolen later. Somebody stole it from him. So you can see there's a little puddle in the middle of the sidewalk there, and it's because we had a lot of rain yesterday. But it's really amazing, they put, every so often they put something next to the water area that's real fancy. There's a little roof unit right there with a fence, like not a fence, but a railing around it with picnic tables, and you can have your lunch there or picnic, whatever you want to do, and claim the table for a couple hours. I mean, that's pretty neat. I like that. That's pretty cool. You sit right by the water, and you got 20 people or something, you can have your little picnic right there. a lot of maintenance. You know, they probably got to paint those railings probably every 4 years, maybe every 3 years. I don't know. I imagine they got to be painted a lot. So a lot of maintenance goes in it. All the light poles got to get painted. And they got those big flower containers there that get planted every year. Not a lot of people in there right now because it's a Wednesday. Weekends there's a little bit more. Lady walking her dog. The sky looks a little nasty, but there was no rain at all. We got through this pretty nice. I was really surprised that the rain left us alone to get the video done. It's just too bad that we didn't have very good sound, you know, with the mics. But what are you going to do? Now this area here is where I'm explaining, of course, you know, when I was walking. This area here is where the stage gets set up for when they have headliner bands that come in. You know, like we did, I think, if I remember right, we seen Diamond Rio was there, and there was another country star there. I can't remember his name, though. Let me try to think of somebody's name, and never can think of it, but that was where the stage gets set up. And when you go in there, it's a big stage. I mean, it's really incredible. So they usually have a couple bands that come in for Riverfest. They call it the Riverfest, Bloody Riverfest. Now that's a pretty fancy bridge. It's almost as nice as they got in Madison. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to walk underneath and show you how they got the spiral staircase going up there. How nice they made that. But there's got to be a lot of maintenance that goes into this stuff. So I'm going to spin around now. And you'll see how the steps go up. And how fancy that is. Pretty neat, ain't it? Now we're going to go underneath the bridge. And it's sad because I had some really good sound of the cars going over the top while you're underneath. And the echo, you can hear the cars going across. And the mic just disappointed me really bad. So, but what are you going to do? The jogger coming there. The people with bikes. You can ride a bike down the paths. There's no problem with that. Doesn't say anything about you can't have a bicycle. You can jog, run, and all that stuff. There's the other side going up. So I don't see any graffiti anywhere. A lot of times you'll see where there's graffiti, you know, so they must have that under control pretty good. They got a silt fence, so they're doing some construction ahead of that. Bicyclists coming out. Real polite guy. Oh, you're going to see something really strange coming up. I'll wait till we get a little bit closer. But we're at the old power plant to the left of this. Yeah, so I'm going to turn around here and you're going to see see what's going on at the power plant. I thought it was the second one, but it looks like it's going to be the third one. I'm trying to get out in the middle. That's what I'm trying to do, I guess. I can't remember exactly how this went, but I know I turn and show you where the power plant was there. And then you got the dam. Here we go. Alright, right straight ahead, there's the dam. That little red area there, that was part of they had generators in there at one time, I believe. And then that was all part of the power plant right there. There's no longer anything going on in there anymore. Looks a lot different now than it did back 17 years ago. I remember right there, something was there at one time. I don't remember exactly what, but like there was another part of another building or something. I can't exactly remember. Okay, here's where we come on something crazy. You ever seen a locomotive on top of a bridge? Back when I was dating my wife, I came down there and I took just tons of pictures of that thing. I couldn't get enough pictures of it. I got every angle you could think. That's when I was into photography. I wasn't into video. You know, I just took all kinds of pictures. I was going nuts down there. That was so pretty down there, everything. I thought it was really neat. I thought it was kind of cool to see that, you know, back in the early days when I first got introduced down there. See that car up on top of that bridge. I thought that was pretty comical. Actually, don't look too bad. The sun is directly in our face going through there. This is the first time seeing this. I'm trying to show you the same steps I took back when I was doing the photography of this. There's a spot right around the corner there where I took a bunch of photos where you actually take a picture of the subject matter you're doing, and then frame it with another subject matter. See, like these big square boxes that you see. Well, that represents a frame. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to frame the object you're photographing. So what I'm trying to do is, actually get the camera set just right and put a picture frame around what I'm shooting. That's what I'm trying to do right there. So when I did the photos, I got many photos that I did this with. And that kind of looks cool right there. You're creating a picture frame around the subject matter just by using a concrete box. Gimbal got a little away from me a little bit there. And there's ABC, their place. They're the ones that put all the money into this riverfront thing, all this improvement that's down there, the bridges and everything. That's the way I understand it anyway. My wife was telling me that there's a lady that's behind all that. That was with ABC. I believe it's ABC. I hope I got the initials right. Oh, there's the water tower there to the right in the corner there. That's the old water tower, what's left of it. I was going to go up there and photograph that too, but I didn't get a chance to get up there. The old Blight water tower. Now here we're at the wildflowers, we just previously did a video on a sunflower farm where we show a lot of wildflowers, and this is real similar to that. So they're doing the same thing where you go down a path and they got wildflowers going on both sides, and they're doing real well. Some of them are pretty well exhausted out because of the heat. They're all brown, all dried up because there's been some tremendous amount of heat, 100 degrees. Not 90, but 100 for a couple days in a row. Now today, today it was, I think, I'll bet you if you got 70-some degrees, you're lucky. There's a good shot there of the power plant from a distance. And my famous car on top of the trestle bridge. The railroad car on top of the trestle bridge. Thought that was really unique. I wonder what's the story behind that. Someday I'll have to dig into that and find out who come up with that idea and why. I'm showing you the clouds. Got a bad storm coming, but it's not really a bad storm. Just that the sun came out and it makes all the clouds really dark. So it looks a lot better this way because the sun's behind you. That's a real switch engine up there. I imagine there's a lot of parts they took out of there to keep it light. There's a lot of weight. I gotta learn to walk with a gimbal better. I'm getting that up and down movement. See, I'm not sure what that bridge is called. I don't know if that's the Memorial Bridge or not. If that is the Memorial Bridge, then that's where they shot the fireworks off of. I'm going to peek over the top. There's some ducks down there. If I can get them. I missed them. There's just two right there. I spooked them off. There's a whole bunch of them. I see them, and then when I put the camera over the edge, they took off. Now right there, that tower right there, and about in the middle, right on the top, that's the water tower, the old Beloit water tower. And then there they got that all boxed in for doing something for the what do they call it? It's like some kind of sewer, storm sewer of some sort that they're putting in there. Trying to find out what the name of that excavator was because I like excavators. But I couldn't find the name on it. Yep. It's pretty cool. Then we find this guy all by himself, sunning himself. I told him to give me a thumbs up, but he put his head up instead. Yeah, he's enjoying himself. So folks, I'm going to have to sign out on this now, and that's it. Okay guys, how did you like it? I thought it was really pretty down there. It's a really nice place to go when you're want to go for a nice evening stroll, and you're not surrounded by a bunch of trees where you got a lot of mosquitoes and stuff. I liked it. I mean, back in the day when I was, when I met my wife, of course, I think we went down there a few times and walked the sidewalk down there, and it was real romantic and stuff, and we had some good times down there. And I miss those days. Yeah, you could actually hold hands and nobody cared back then. Now it's like you hold hands when you're this old, these people look at you like you're crazy, you know. So yeah, it's terrible getting old. But I just thought I'd take you guys down there and show you what, you know, Beloit turned into over the years, and you know, that's approximately, could be as much as 20 years old, something like that. because it's been 17 years, I think, when I got introduced to it, and it was all done. And I think it was only done for a year or two. It was like brand new when I seen it, and I said, wow, when I got down there, because I haven't been to Beloit back then for a long time either. And I thought it was pretty incredible. So guys, if you liked the video, like always, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate that. And please subscribe to me if you're new to the channel. Always use subscribers. And leave some comments, if you want to. And feel free to leave me some ideas on places to go that maybe I'd like to go in Wisconsin. Because we're trying to learn as much as we can too on different places to go that we're trying to seek out that are strange, that people don't see. You got your common places that everybody knows about. You got your Milwaukee County Zoo, you got your Milwaukee County Museum, you got the a lot of your standard stuff, the Milwaukee Stadium for the Brewers, all the way to racetracks, you name it. I mean, all that stuff, and famous parks, the state parks. You got the Kettle Marine, everybody knows about that stuff. But what about the stuff that nobody hears about? Stuff that nobody ever seen, that's in the hidden back in the bluff somewhere, like in the western part of the state, that people don't know about. That's what I'm trying to find. Stuff that is unique. Like I never knew there was a waterfall in Governor Dodge. When we went there, I says, I never knew there was a waterfall like that. Natural spring water, and there's enough spring water to make it look like a waterfall. I thought it was pretty. It's really nice. So if you haven't seen that video, go back one. It's right there. It's pretty neat. So guys, I'm going to let you go. Hope you liked this video. And if you don't, let me know. And let me know some videos you might want to see that's in Wisconsin. And we'll be glad to take a trip and check them out and shoot a video. So thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Alright? We'll see you. Bye. God bless.